That was my next question, was about what your practicing looks like these days. Because if you're singing all the time, that means you're going to be rehearsing a lot, which means you're probably going to be coaching a lot. Where do you fit in the practice time and how do you structure it?
Okay, so generally, if it's a part I've never sung before, I try to start a little bit of preliminary work on the role 1 year in advance. If I've never sung the role, I have zero real context. I might have listened to the opera one or two times, but I like to look at the music and get a preliminary outlook a year out. And then I'll work on it for a few weeks and then put it away. And I do it on my own. I almost never work with a coach. Reason
Hmm.
being, I don't want that poor coach to hear how slow I am at learning it and think that I'm not smart and think that I can't figure it out for myself. I really try to do the majority of the legwork on my own with my little tick tick tick, whatever I have available to me, and I try to do brain work before I start singing it. So I don't necessarily practice by literally singing phrase by phrase repeatedly because that tires out my voice. So I would rather just speak the text, speak the rhythms, that kind of thing, which is super boring, but and takes forever and it's tedious. Uh, and then when I get to a point where I feel like I've got the text going, then I'll write down the text. I will literally just sit there and write it. And if I know it's memorized, I know what's next because I'll memorize the melody really fast. I can actually memorize pretty quick. Text is what's a little bit harder, which is why I think learning the languages and speaking the languages as much as you can is extremely helpful, Peter, because you'll memorize twice as fast. You won't have to look up every other word. You'll know the diction. You won't have to ask somebody. And then I find where the problems are. Where are the problems? Where's the part that is going to be a problem? And then I go from there. So it takes me, yeah, anywhere from a year out to 4 months. 4 months out, I try to really start I'm only working on this consistently. Yeah, 4 months,
Okay.
I'd say,
And
if
and
possible.
and vocally, like vocal
Mhm.
exercises, vocal training,
Mhm.
are there things in your voice that you're actively trying to improve?
Yeah.
And is that something you're
Hello.
working on like every
Oh
day?
yeah. Oh
Okay.
no, I'm perfect. I open my mouth and everything's just perfect. I never have to practice. I never have to criticize my own singing. It's perfect. No, child. Peter. Oh my God. No, I tell you one thing that's funny. I every role you sing, and I'm sure this will happen to you as it happens the same way it happens to a soprano. Every role you sing leaves a little imprint on your instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a good one. And then when you go to sing something else, you're going to go, oh, evidence of the role I've just sung is here. Now I'm finding it. Whether it's, wow, listen to how awesome and clean my passaggio is. Oh, listen how easy I can approach this one note. Listen how beautiful that vowel is now. Could be great things. Could also be a problem of, oh my God, why does my voice not want to sit low? Why is it always wanting to do this? Like, what is going on? And so every single role is going to have a little leftover, a little residue, and you have to work with that and clean it up or incorporate it if you can in a good way into whatever's next of your schedule. So that going from role to role to role to role, if they're really different, like I went from a high roll one time to a really low roll to a really high roll again. I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to die. This is very hard for me. I don't,
Hmm.
you get used to things, you put them in your voice. That's the hardest bit, really. That's the hardest bit. Now I'm trying to remember your original question about this all. Your original question was,
If you're going into do vocal exercises
right.
like a vocal training session, what does that look like?
That's what it's gonna be. That's
Okay.
where you're gonna find the flexibility that you either have lost a little bit of, or you've come, it's kind of like you're gonna realize you've been neglecting leg day for like a year.
No, don't do that. You will be sore for a month
Right.
the next time you barbell squat.
Right. And it's not because you're not fit. You're perfectly fit. In fact, your legs might look gorgeous, but
Hmm.
when you're going to squeal, like, what the hell, my butt? And so that's
Yeah.
kind of very similar with the voice because you really can't keep an even, the voice, no roll is even. No roll is ever even. Every roll sits a little high, sits a little low, sits a little in the middle, never goes up, never goes down, or goes. It's always going to put you because it is a routine. It's like doing literally a routine on a gymnastics floor. And that's all. Now, even if you vocalize to warm up, you do your warm up, whatever, you're going to do the warm up that's going to be appropriate for your routine at that time for what you're being paid to do. No gymnast is going to be doing every single event to a perfectly exactly even level, unless you're Simone Biles. I mean, and even that, she probably spends all day long in the gym, and sure she has events that are stronger than others. I mean, it's just life. So we have to do the same exact. This is why I think vocal technique, it's not even just about, can I use my voice to go up? Can I use my voice to go down? Yes. But I'm being paid to do a specific routine perfectly, execute this routine. So yeah, that's where for me, most of the voice practice is recovering from something I've just sung and putting it into the next thing I need to sing.
It is amazing how much more comfortable roles tend to feel by the end of the run of shows, assuming you've stayed vocally healthy and you're well rested and hydrated and all these things. But